Doing this job is hard because some conversations, to be honest, I know that my work ethic got me into the room, but I'm not qualified for that conversation. Like we was talking about hip hop sparring. I know for a fact I probably wouldn't be able to hang, but I know that my work ethic and my personality would get me through. But I want to be able to have the conversation, right? When we talk about Jay-Z, Biggie, and things like that, I want to be able to have, when we talking about movies and things like that, like I want to be able to have these conversations, having quotes and talking about things like that. But it's like, bro, when I was coming up, and even now, I'm so invested in my show being great. I'm so invested in me being better as a interviewer and things like that. I don't look at none of that. I don't listen to none of that. I'm tunnel vision.
That's so interesting. I had no idea.
Yo, what's poppin'? You know, tell me this, your boy, Mr. J Hill. You probably seen a lot, most of my interviews on the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, or on my Instagram, because we just be going crazy. But right now, I'm with my dog, Nyla Symone. Yo, we need to talk.
What's going on, guys? Nyla Symone here with another episode of We Need to Talk, and today I have a very special guest in the building. We got Mr. J Hill here. How are you?
I'm all right. What up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be seen.
Yeah?
I appreciate you for having me, for real.
Of course.
Nah.
I feel like it only makes sense. It's a matter of time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You and I have been wanting to do content together for a while, but now you're in a completely different place now, all the way in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But even before you got to Atlanta, actually, let me just backtrack. For those who aren't familiar with who Mr. J Hill is, who are you? How'd you get your start?
I don't know what to say. I'm a content creator, I guess. I have no idea how to pitch
You do
this.
a lot.
Yeah, but I got my start doing internet radio in Baltimore on a station called VBC Radio with a show called Love the Culture Radio. From there, I went into work at DTLR. DTLR is a retail store that's nationwide, and I had a show on that radio platform. And then I created a freestyle series called No Ghostwriter. From there, I went to like WEAA at Morgan Radio, and then I went to WKYS, and then I went to Atlanta. I mean, I just try to, I don't know.
You're saying it fast. It's okay, because I'm acting like I don't know, but I've watched you do all the things that you said. I don't know. Do you remember when we first met?
I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't remember when we first met.
I met the day that, what is it called? The day after, like, your probate, y'all had a party.
Okay, that's when we met?
Yeah. No, everybody there was like super, super drunk. And I went to a PWI.
Oh,
so that was my first time going to like a HBCU party. Not to mention it was hella Greek. You know, it was like juice going around. You were drunk as fuck. You were drunk as fuck.
Oh my God.
But
that just threw me off.
Why?
Cause what? Day after probate?
Yeah, but I say that to say like I've watched you grow since then.
My heart dropped like shit. I'm like, well, like,
why is your heart dropping? It was a fun party.
No. Day after probate? Come on.
No.
Yeah, it's bad.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it could have been any story. You could have had any story in the world.
Well, yes, that was where I met you.
I was like, shit.
And then after that, I followed you when I met you at the party, and then I've literally seen you progress like that. And I will say one of my favorite things that you did was absolutely the No Ghostwriters. Like, I thought that series was really dope because you were putting me on to mad artists who I wasn't familiar with in the city. Not to mention, I just felt like rap was kind of like a dying art. So, like, to actually see people come up there who could spit, I'm like, oh.
No, it's crazy, man. People say that, like, and it's dope to see, like, on the outside, because I guess when I was in it, I didn't really understand it because I was fighting to get recognized. I'm going to be real. Like, I was fighting to get recognized by people who I thought were dope, right? And I didn't see it. I couldn't see it. So to hear people say that, like, you're not the only one to say that, and it's like, man, it means a lot to hear that from my peers for sure. You know, just being real, you know what I'm saying? So, thank you.
Yeah, fire concept. But even down to DTLR Radio with Raven, I love that. What made you want to start that with that collective?
Well, the Love the Culture Radio with Raven, she actually was doing that before me. And she was having auditions for a co-host. And Shout out to my homie Inkwell. He's a Kappa, but we was doing business together in the club. I was hosting for him. He used to throw parties. He was like, "Yo, you should audition for to be her co-host." And I'm like, I don't want to interview people. I didn't care to interview people. Like, that wasn't my thing. I was playing football before the clubs and things like that. And I'm like, man, I always want to be a football player. I always wanted to be interviewed. I just always thought that I was going to be the star. And they was like, nah, man, you hosting. And, you know, hosting radio is still entertainment. Is you got to find somewhere to go. You can't just be a host or whatever. I gave it a try. And, you know, I was always inquisitive. And I always, I guess, didn't know what to say, I guess. And at that time, I think, when did the Breakfast Club first start? It had to be like 2013 or something, 2014. I mean, I don't know. But at that time...
They're going on 10 years now, so yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so around that time, because I was like asking questions, people would like compare me to Charlamagne, but I didn't know like who he was at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Charlamagne.
Yeah, because at that time, that was when he was like... harsh, you know what I'm saying?
Peak asshole.
Yeah. So people used to say that, but I didn't know because I never was into like the radio thing for real.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, when I started looking into the Breakfast Club, I'm like, yo, we can be this, and that's how I got into DTLR. So like, yeah, I mean, that's how I kind of got into the radio, just by somebody's suggestion, to be real. Keep it all the way funky with you.
Interesting. So radio was never. Oh, so 2010. Yeah, it says 2010.
2010. Yeah. So yeah, it was 7. Damn. They about to go on 20 years then.
Yeah.
Right?
No. What is it? 2024. So 14 years.
Yeah. So, this was like 2017. It was like 7 years later. Like,
sheesh.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait. So you were naturally an asshole? Because I don't really know you to be an asshole like that.
I'm not. I don't think I'm an asshole. It's just one. I try to be honest. Like, I think it's lack of vocabulary. Right.
Okay.
So when you don't have a big vocabulary, you only pull from the vocabulary bank that you have. Right.
Okay.
So that's not intentionally. I can do better at that. Right. And two, just me I'm a straightforward person. So if we're having a conversation, I'll say something, and on camera it looks different than what it is in person, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess people just thought like, yo, you asked the straightforward questions. I didn't think it was like asshole-ish. I just thought I was being
this is just how I talk.
Yeah, exactly, right? But you go over time and you learn that like sometimes you gotta make tweaks in how you talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understandable. So why did you pivot from, because I know you were doing radio in DC, and then I saw you go to Atlanta. Was that like the pandemic where you was like, you know what, I'm over it, let me dip, or like what's that transition?
I mean, radio is just, at the time, at this moment, it's not for me, because like I'm a big personality or a big person, like and I couldn't take the weight gain, right? Especially if you're not like coming up underneath anybody, they're not like mentoring you and things like that. It's like you kind of like fighting for yourself. And I got in, of course, through learning the boards. I got in everything I did through hard work, right? So I got in through learning the boards. That's what they tell you to do. I learned the boards. I cracked the mic the first week, like that first Friday, by the grace of God. But and so I was excelling in my career, and it was good, but it wasn't good enough, because I would see the Quicksilvers, the Dominique the Divas, the Lil Bacon Berries, and I'm like, man, I want a full-time spot. Like, these guys are dope, but I'm dope too. But you have to wait, and with radio, people are in it for a long time. And I just didn't want to wait, man. Everybody was saying, yo, Atlanta is the place to be, so I just moved, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like, I was always just someone that wanted to go get it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely makes sense. So, okay, so you did the pivot to Atlanta. Atlanta is essentially where you started the interview series.
Nah, yeah, kinda.
Okay, explain.
So...
Well, it definitely took off in Atlanta.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
okay,
100%.
But it started
in Baltimore. So what happened was, like, when I was doing radio, this is why I could never really stay with radio as well, because I was just like so disruptive and just hard to maintain.
Okay.
So when I was doing radio, I was doing my own interviews, and I used to get in trouble with that, because I would use my Radio 1 email to email managers and artists to get the interviews, and then I remember my program director told me at the time, like, you can't do that, and I thought they was hating, but I found out that they have a department that handle the artists, and they book the interviews. So sometimes when I reach out, it looks like I'm reaching out on behalf of Radio 1, and it's just a politic thing. But I was young. I wasn't trying to hear that. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get it. Y'all stop me from getting it. You get what I'm saying? So I always was doing the interviews, and then the interviews was a space for me to have content on my own, right? Because I had a podcast, like, I guess we skipping around, but
yeah.
So I got fired from DTLR.
Okay.
Right, I wanted to continue the freestyle platform, so I bought my own mics, and I continued it outside of DTLR Radio, right? And it kind of slowed down, and I'm like, I want to do a podcast, so I started one with my girlfriend at the time, my now wife, Gemini Scorpio podcast, but we have real relationships, so we would be on, sometimes she don't want to record, so I'm like, yo, I'm going to just do interviews, because this is a way that I can stay consistent. So I always was doing interviews.
Yeah.
When I moved to Atlanta, it just took off and I got more consistent at it. Because in Baltimore, I was just like, I probably would drop once a week or something like that. But it wasn't somebody you would know. But it was people that I can reach. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that puts the story in perspective more.
Do you feel like being in Atlanta, outside of just like reach, do you feel like, I don't even want to say it's Atlanta per se, but just leaving home helped you to like grow?
I mean, for sure. But it is we can't ignore Atlanta. Like, we can't ignore New York. We can't ignore LA. We can't ignore those big places, because I wouldn't have moved to Atlanta if it wasn't for that. New York is too expensive. LA was too expensive. Atlanta, I had a friend that could help me get on my feet, or help me until I got on my feet, right? And it was affordable. So, but along with that, we can't ignore the opportunities that it presents, because there's so many people there. So on one end, it's like, yeah, help me because I got out of my city. And I'm from Baltimore. You feel me? It's like all we know is Baltimore, but so many people that's from small cities. And of course, I'm able to learn more people. But I went to college. That's what college is for, to be honest. So I was able to have that experience through college. So the main thing is the opportunities. Nobody's coming through Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to DC, the club or whatever like that. And when they go to DC, they go to the radio station, and they already got it unlocked. In Atlanta, even if I'm not getting an A-list celebrity, I'll get C, and y'all like the C, so that still helped me grow, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say just solely moving out of Baltimore or moving out my city, but it's moving to the right city, making the right pivot.
That makes sense. So how are you enjoying Atlanta? Like, where are you at right now? How do you feel?
I mean, I think it's just work, to be honest. Like, it's not something that I care for. Like, coming from in the city of Baltimore, right? I was just having this conversation about being genuine. And I feel like everything is circumstantial. Like, it's always like transactional. And I don't want to live like that, right? But I understand that I'm there for that. I'm there for work. But that's every time somebody asks me how is Atlanta, it's work. I'm there to get the job done. That's it. That's all. Like, that's all the reason.
I feel like you'll warm up to it eventually. Are you planning on staying there?
No. I mean,
no.
Once, like, if I had to retire, I would probably retire in Florida, maybe Jamaica or something. Like, to be honest, like, yeah, like, nah, it's no. Mm-mm.
I feel like you're the only person I met who's not loving Atlanta. That's why I'm a little shocked by your response.
I love it for my career, though, for sure, 100%. But it's not somewhere I want to stay with my family. Like, it's for work. Like, why would I? Who likes Atlanta? Like,
I like Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
Why? Because there's so many black people?
We have black people in Maryland, but yeah. I would say black people willing to work with one another.
Yeah, for sure. But when it's done with the work, like, I don't want our relationship to be based off of you having to work.
You can also get land. There's mad black ownership. There's fucking black politicians that look like me who are making things make sense.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of good things that I like about Atlanta. But let's talk about the Gemini Scorpio podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about having to do a podcast with your partner. Were you always comfortable with like being public on a podcast about topics as such? Or was that something you guys had to grow into?
No, we was always comfortable about it. We had to grow into how we did it, though, right? Because at first it was very toxic. And, like, we were having our arguments.
Real arguments
on camera. It's funny because it's kind of the opposite. It grown into being uncomfortable. Because now the conversations are more intentional. At first it was really to get my shit off, like, nah, you. Now it's uncomfortable because when I'm saying something, I'm mindful, I'm cognizant, but I'm also meaning it from the heart. So it's different from me just saying things out of spite or out of anger and things like that. So now it's more uncomfortable when I post it, like, damn, like, because now when
you're being hella vulnerable.
Yeah, when you're judging me, you're judging a real feeling. Like, at first you're probably, I was obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, that's really how I feel. So when someone says something about it, it's like, you second guess it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, it's definitely. Yeah.
I can't believe you guys are actually having, when I saw you doing the podcast, a lot of the clips though are hella entertaining. I can't front, so I'm like, damn, this is good stuff. But me personally, I would be scared to be that personal with people.
Yeah, it's bro. I think on one of the clips I was telling my wife how I was like just wasn't attracted to her when she was pregnant or whatever.
Yeah, yes.
And it just was crazy because like this is a real feeling that some men go through, right? And I remember posting that clip, and I'm just like in my head like, why am I telling the world this? Like, why that? Like, and in my mind, I keep saying like, this is for the greater good. Like, it's somebody out there who feels this way that can't have this conversation. It's somebody who's gonna learn through this. And in my mind, I'm like, but I don't want to be the guinea pig for them. Like, they're gonna have to find out on their own. Like, I had to find out. But there's a bigger picture to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, eventually you understand that the reason, the why behind it. You know what I'm saying? And you stand on that. But it definitely get hard. You know what I'm saying? It definitely gets hard.
Did people reach out and be like, yo, I felt you on this? Like,
yeah, sometimes. But I try not to get too caught up in no reactions, though. Because if you get caught up in the good, you have to get caught up in the bad, if that makes sense. Right? You live by the comments, you're going to die by the comments. But sometimes I allow it to just pick me up and ignore the bad stuff, if that makes sense. It might sound contradicting, but...
It's a dance you have to do.
Exactly.
For me personally, I'll see one, I'm like, oh my God, they like it. Then I like scroll a little bit, and then I see one negative, and I'm like, oh nah, fuck that. I ain't doing this today.
Yeah. Facts. That's how it go. At first, I used to say, I'm not gonna check the comments at all. But as I grew into my career and just met people, sometimes you need to be able to compartmentalize and use the comments to pick you up. Sometimes if you have to, right?
True.
But ignore the negative. You don't have to ignore all of them. Take in the good.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because sometimes it's fucking hard.
It's difficult
but I
for sure.
hear you.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. Like, and especially with the podcast with my wife, because again, like we having real conversations. But I know this word is getting overused a lot now, but it's really a mindset thing. Like I went from being scared or just like afraid of my vulnerability, not afraid, but just like feeling away to like, man, thank God that I'm able to have these conversations with my wife, because some of these conversations, forget the cameras, some of these conversations not even being had at home because they can't have them. So how fortunate, how blessed I am to be able to have a conversation with my wife, one, and then have it to be on camera and be able to post it and we still be flourishing our relationship. So it's really a mindset thing.
Do comments ever like, do you guys ever end up being like, see, they agree with me? Is it ever like that type of thing? And I'm only asking because I subliminally do that with my partner, and I'd be like, you see, they not fucking with your shit. I mean, nobody knows, but
nah. Oh, I know. I'm messing with you. I'm joking.
I'm like, do you?
Oh, I know.
You can't tell.
I can't tell.
I keep my shit low.
And I don't know, but
Okay,
I feel like I know. But
okay, sure.
I'm fucking with you. But
I'm like, wait.
I'm messing with you. But they're not. We haven't gotten into that. Like
That's good.
That's crazy. Like that's dope. We haven't gotten. Because you can get into that easy.
Hell yeah.
It was one time where I asked her a question that was kind of like borderline that. I was like, yo, because I felt like she was treating me differently, well, responding differently on a podcast in a good way. And I was like, are you allowing the comments to get to you in a good way? Because like, usually when you see yourself on camera, it's like, yeah. And then you see what people telling you, it's like, maybe I do got to scale back. So I kind of thought it was the comments. She's like, nah, like, I just don't want to be that person either. So
you guys matured in real time, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's sick.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I like that. Okay, so let's pivot. Mr. J Hill, 5-10 years from now, where are you at? Are you still doing an interview series? Like, cause it's not like you set out to do this, even though it's blowing up for you. So where do you see yourself taking it?
Yo, I see myself being able to hold my own on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, the interviews are cool, but I feel like it puts me in a box because it's like, I don't think people understand. You probably know, because like, man, I DM people like, this ain't my first rodeo. I've been hitting people since the beginning of the time. But people look at the outcome and they think it's easy. But this shit gets tiring, especially if you're not a household name, right? And granted, I'm in Atlanta, so I get pretty decent guests. But it's like hard living up to an expectation that I created, right? People like, I'm doing celebrity interviews.
What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini. What?
Just asking.
Yeah, so it's like.
He said it's hard for the expectations I set for myself.
No, not set, but it's hard seeing the expectations that I created with my own work, right? So I started doing interviews. I wanted to get celebrity interviews. I got them. So if anything, they say be careful what you ask for. I should be happy about that. But now I see what it did for me. They say, you know what I'm saying, be careful what you ask for. Now I got a lot of celebrity interviews. A lot of my audience expects celebrity interviews, but they don't understand how hard it is to do that, if that makes sense. But I created that. I can't be mad at nobody else. So going back to the 10-year thing, I see myself doing a show with like just me or like a couple of my friends. Like, I mean, not to take a page out of nobody, but like, I mean, we all know Joe Budden is he's somebody that does great at that. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's something I want to do. So you come for me and not just for my guests.
So it'd just be the Jay Hill show, essentially.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. No.
All right, we're gonna play a game. It's fill in the blank.
Uh-oh.
Nothing crazy. It's just so people can get to know you a little more. Oh wait, it's not fill in the blank. I lied. It's questions that need answers.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
What happened to fill in the blank?
It's still fill in the blank, but we put a new name for it. We're trying to theme our segments.
I'm trying to get into that.
Yeah, I'm trying
It's hard, bro. It's like, I be having good conversations. You want me to just pivot and just...
Like, oh, yeah, let me do the intro. Okay,
Yeah.
So the older I get, the less I blink.
The older I get, the less I speak.
Talking less. Has talking got you in a lot of trouble?
Yeah.
This is why you talk less.
Yeah, man. It's power in silence.
For sure.
It's power in... Okay, you're right. It's power in so many of those things.
Okay, you're right is a different one. It's a different one.
It's a difficult one too sometimes.
Gives you peace though.
But growth doesn't feel like... Growth is not always so peaceful in the moment. It hurts bad. It's like going to the gym when you're working out and your body is sore. So like growth hurts, bro. Like, so when you know and you convicted in your heart that you're right, when you're convicted in your heart that you were mistreated, to swallow that and say, okay, you were right, my bad, that hurts.
Yeah. Not being a bigger person sucks, but it gets you further.
But even in that, though, I think it's deeper than that. Think about it. We're unconsciously telling ourselves that we're being the bigger person, so unconsciously we're saying that we're being better because we're being the bigger person.
It's not even about being better. It's more so like, what's the saying? Never argue with a fool because from a distance you never know.
Again, yeah, because from a distance somebody won't know who is who.
Yeah.
But still, even unconsciously we're saying that we're better, we're superior because I won't argue with a fool. Who's to say I'm not the fool? Right? So,
okay.
But I say that to say because we gotta be careful how we think, because we think that unconsciously, not saying that we're bad people, but because we're thinking that unconsciously, it would eventually come out. Think about it. If I'm thinking in my mind that I'm not going to argue with a fool, something may come from my mind to my actions to my body movement to make you feel like you're a fool. You're not going to like that. If I'm unconsciously thinking that I'm being a bigger person, subconsciously I might treat you like you're lower than. You're not going to like that.
So what's the better approach? Because to me, I don't think me not feeding into it is not making you feel like you're lower. It's me stopping myself from being emotionally invested in the conversation that I see not going anywhere.
We got to say that, though, because we didn't say that. You said being the bigger person, not arguing with a fool. There's a difference between not feeding into anything that's not going to benefit me or us or our situation that we have going on than to say not arguing with a fool, being a bigger person. I think it's a mindset thing.
Sure. But that's my mindset, and I like the way it works for me.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Hey, I'm not
like,
mad.
all right. I can't believe I actually blinked when I was younger.
I can't believe I actually... I don't know.
Nothing crazy. You grew up in Baltimore. There has to be something wild you done.
I can't believe I actually had sex when I was younger. I don't know. It was like super young. What about you? You can't believe you did what?
This is I know you're used to doing the interviews, but I'm interviewing you, okay?
Yo, I can't believe I had sex such a young age.
All right, what time did you have sex? I
mean, 12.
At 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. I've been hearing some wild shit lately.
Yeah. It's bad.
People.
Nah. But yeah, that's... Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's bad, bro. Like, those things really hurt growing up. Like,
Hurt?
not hurt, no.
Oh, impactful.
It really, like, as an adult, I see so many things that came from me having sex early, right? The over sexualization of women, right? Not being as intimate with my woman, like things that really impact me now because of what was going on at a young age, if that makes sense. You know? So like those things hurt in the long run, especially if you aren't able to acknowledge it and recognize it, right? I'm recognizing it now. I'm over 30. Like, those things hurt. Yeah, so
Damn.
I can't believe I actually had sex at a young age when I was...
I feel like because society pushes it for men to have sex all the time that it's kind of normalized.
Yeah.
So to hear you say this is like, damn.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be normalized because look at the things that it creates in men and teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Young men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna always talk about that because I don't think that a man should be in that predicament at such a young age. Then it just goes into other places and inappropriate things, and none of that stuff should even exist. But it exists because of the environments and the standards of our environments.
Yeah. Shit gotta change.
Facts.
You have 2 daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you had a son, do you think you'd push the double standard narrative?
Not even close.
Okay, good.
It's sick.
I'm a little embarrassed by the fact that I know so little about blank.
Hip hop culture.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I never, like, first of all, I think I got into radio late. I got into it in 2017. And before that, I was playing football. I would listen to music that I like 50 Cent, Give It Your Die Trying. But before that, I was listening to, I don't know, I don't even remember.
So you're not really into music. You're more into, like, personality and lifestyle.
But it's doing this job is hard because some conversations, to be honest, I know that my work ethic got me into the room. But I'm not qualified for that conversation. Like we was talking about hip hop sparring. I know for a fact I probably wouldn't be able to hang, but I know that my work ethic and my personality would get me through. But I want to be able to have the conversation, right? When we talk about Jay-Z, Biggie, and things like that, I want to be able to have when we talk about movies and things like that. Like I want to be able to have these conversations, having quotes and talking about things like that. But it's like, bro, when I was coming up, and even now, I'm so invested in my show being great. I'm so invested in me being better as a interviewer and things like that. I don't look at none of that. I don't listen to none of that. I'm tunnel vision.
That's so interesting. I had no idea. Mm-hmm. You didn't grow up off hip hop.
We all did, kind of, but I was
not invested.
My mom's is 75 now, right? So when I was growing up, I was listening to old school music. I wasn't like
Motown.
Yeah, not big, like not hip hop. And my mom's older. When I was listening to music, I had to sneak off and listen to it because she was older. She was 50 something. Don't play that all that cursing and profanity around me. Like I had respect. You know what I'm saying? I had to have respect. So I never really got into it. I was listening to 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, of course, like that. But that's so farther along in hip hop. Like I started at 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. That's kind of, and I didn't like Hot Boy Lil Wayne, like the 12-year-old. I didn't like that. Like I started at the Carter 1. You know what I'm saying? The Block is Hot was cool.
That's a good. You got in at a good time though.
I guess, yeah.
I think so. 50 Cent. I feel like, we had a question on one of my podcasts where it was like, what if an alien came down from outer space? What song would you play them to describe hip hop? And then I was like, oh, I would play fucking 50 Cent in the club. And the only reason, not the only reason, but one, I just love 50 Cent. Like, I read his books. The nigga's mad smart. Yeah. I love the business ventures he's doing, how he's expanded past music. But even down to just the impact of Get Rich or Die Trying, I feel like every artist I interview would be like, yo, this was the first album I bought, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Down to older people who I talked to who DJ'd in New York City, they're like, yo, when this song would come on in the club, you couldn't play no other record. Like, they just had it on repeat. And when you travel around the world, I've been to like 20 other countries. Every club at some point is going to play 50 Cent in the club.
Yes, you're right. You're right about that. I'm just saying that was my starting point. So I'm sure these DJs who are talking about this moment in hip hop, which is 50 Cent, but they have a moment to compare it to. That's my initial thought. I don't know anything before that. I know that 50 Cent and everything after it.
That's a good inauguration. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's a good starting point. Let's see. Sometimes I look back at my life and blank.
sometimes I look back at my life and thank God. Like, it's like, I know you want me to say something entertaining or funny, but it's like, bro, what? Like, thank God. Like, bro, sometimes I look back on my life and just be grateful, right? Even in my career, like, you know, it's so easy to look at other people and say, I want this for myself, I want this. But, bro, man, I have to be appreciative and just grateful for what I have, because I ain't have this last year. I ain't have this 2 years from now, right? So just look back and just be grateful, man.
That's good. From time to time, it's good to do blank. What's something you do to, like, relax? It don't gotta be funny, bro. It's really what you would do.
Bro, I'm really boring. I don't do anything but work. Kick with the family. Like, that's all the work, kick with the family. So I guess, shit, I don't know. From time to time, be cool to sit back, have a drink, smoke. Damn, just relax sometimes. For me, like, I just need to relax sometimes.
Yeah, you've had a day. I made a complete fool of myself when I blanked. Any embarrassing?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, share one.
It was one time where I got drunk and I think I fought the security at my ex-girlfriend's job. And I think it was bad.
What?
Like, I was trying to, like, I've always been somebody with good intention, but it just be so bad. Like,
why are you fighting the security?
Bro, I don't know. I remember I think they let me hold a iPad or something. If I can't remember, like, completely, but I tried to, like, bring it back, or, like, I tried to do something in an unconventional way. They thought I was trying to steal it. In my mind, I was trying to, like, protect it or something. So they was trying to accuse me of stealing. So because I wasn't trying to steal, I was upset. Like, but I was drunk, so it was so bad. I broke the glass door of the club. I'm really, like, fighting security, and then from there, I think one of my I wanted my friends to fight with me, because, like, bro, these niggas are trying to fight, and I think I fought one of my friends because they didn't fight with me.
No,
bro, it's
over an iPad you was trying to return. Jesus,
it was terrible. Yeah,
that's silly. That's really silly.
It's bad.
This is younger days.
Yeah.
I can clearly tell you've matured drastically.
These were one of the times when I met you, the day after my roommate.
Got it. Okay. All right.
That's why you said it. Like, shit. Oh my God.
You looked really taken aback.
No,
like,
I was like, oh,
that's
fuck.
how far back. I'm like, yeah,
no, I was scared. I was like, what?
Yeah. No, I have no bad memories, so you're in the clear with me. You would never believe me if I told you blank.
You would never believe me if I told you. I don't know. That my mom was when she had me.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. What?
No, that was a lot. That's too much for me. All right. Fuck. Be careful.
But that's something that everybody always be surprised about.
You got to be careful what you ask for. God damn, you just told me that.
I mean, shit, I don't know. Like, for me, it's norm. It's normal. Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised that, like, if I tell you I came from the project.
I don't want to know anymore, actually.
Okay.
God damn.
What?
My God. I want to cry for your mom.
Why?
Because.
Look what God did.
You right. You right about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
You tell people that often?
When people ask me about my life or my story, like, yeah, it's like they ask me about my father or something like that. I'm like, I don't know him. My mom's got raped. So, you know what I'm saying? The guy that named me, he wasn't there either. So it was like.
That tried to name you?
No, that named me, that tried to be there, he wasn't there either. So,
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, what?
But now you're a dad, and you're heavily involved in your kid's life.
Yes.
I love to see that. I love to see the content you put, especially a girl dad. I mean, all dads are essential, but girl dads, I feel like. Is it difficult for you?
No, man. I think my wife makes it easy.
Men always be like, I don't want to have daughters, da-da-da-da-da.
Why wouldn't you want to have a daughter?
I know, daughters bring blessings.
What? Like, nah, I think, like, again, I'm with my wife. So I don't want to be ignorant to the people who aren't with their child's mother, because that can be super hard to deal with, right? Difficult. and I embrace and appreciate me and my wife's relationship because I'm able to get up every single day and see my daughter. It could be a different way, and man, I could not imagine.
Hell yeah.
I could not imagine. Yeah, so it's not difficult at all.
I love that. Did you get married during the pandemic?
No, I just got married I got married
recently.
Yeah, last month on the 12th.
I love that. Matt just got married too.
Congratulations, Matt.
I love to see people who get.
Thank you, brother.
I love to see people get married. I feel like it's not something we see anymore.
You
How many friends you got that's married?
Not too many.
Exactly.
But you about to be next. I'm like, yo.
How you know? This nigga be thinking he knows shit. I don't like that.
Bro, what? How do you feel about podcasting right now?
What do you mean?
What you think about it?
In what regards?
First thing you think about.
Number one in audio.
Okay.
You talking about the landscape of everybody doing podcasting?
Yeah.
I don't really feel no way. I really just pay attention to what I'm building and what I'm building only. And if something good catches my eye from other people, I'll support it. If it doesn't catch my eye, then I'm probably unaware of it anyway because I really stay in my bubble. So that's probably why this question is hard for me to answer because I don't really be keeping up.
That's so surprising when I hear people say that. Like,
why?
Like I don't keep up.
Why? That should have drive you mad. It's too much shit to keep up with.
Not necessarily. I feel like that's a part of my job.
Nigga, everybody got a podcast.
Yeah, but I need to know my peers. I need to know who's doing what they're doing, how they're winning, who they're interviewing, what equipment they're using. I need to know that. It's market research.
I guess, but you could do that top of the year and then circle back the next year.
Nah, facts. I mean, I follow everybody. I'm very aware of all of my peers. Like even the people that think that I'm so much further ahead than them, I know who they are.
Why?
Because I'm truly invested into this. Like I'm like, when I do things, I give it my all. So like, I really know. But I think my perspective, when I feel like podcasting creates laziness, it's lazy journalism. And I was just talking earlier about how like rappers come up nowadays saying like, I'm not a rapper. Like, bro, you're a rapper. And you're just saying you're not a rapper so you can be lazy and not have to do the things that rappers do. No, you're a rapper. You're just a lazy rapper. A lot of podcasts be like, I'm not a journalist. Like, I'm not doing an interview. This is a conversation. No, you're a podcaster. You do interviews, and you're just lazy, and you don't want to do the work. I asked you that because I know you have a radio background as well, and you come up under one of the most prolific interviewers ever.
Charlamagne.
No.
Angie
Martinez. Respect to Charlamagne.
Yeah.
No, I know your story. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, so I feel like, and that's somebody that I look up to. So.
I mean, personally, because I was having this conversation on Brilliant Idiots the other day, and they were talking about, when Elliot Wilson did the whole Nicki Minaj thing, and they were like, journalism is dead, blase, blase. And they was like, Nyla, how do you feel about it? And I'm just like, if people feel like journalism is dead, then journalism is dead. I don't feel the need to declare like, this is what I'm doing and, I'm bringing this back or whatever the case may be. My approach to things is more so like you said earlier when you started doing Love Culture Radio, it's like you just have a curious mind. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's more so like, okay, I'm a fan of the culture. I'm a fan of the people I bring on, and I'm probably already naturally doing research on these people because I'm a fan of you. So when I have these conversations, it's whatever y'all call it. I could give a fuck. It's more so like, this is for me.
That's dope that you're there though. For me, it's kind of the opposite because I like slow walked into interviewing. I didn't want to do it. So even now, the people that I interview, to be completely honest, I'm probably not doing the research on you outside of this job. But because I'm having you on my show,
you'll do the research.
I'm doing the work to find out who you are, and that's
at least you're doing the work.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
At least you're doing the work.
100%, man.
You have any more questions for me before I wrap this? Because I know you've been itching to get a few out.
I'm gonna respect your platform. I'll have you on my show, and I'll ask you all the questions.
All right, bet. Let's do that.
All right.
Mr. J Hill, shout out your grandma. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
What's poppin'? You know what time it is. Your boy, Mr. J Hill, MR_JAYHILL. You can follow me on all social media platforms, including YouTube, with the same handle. Appreciate you, Nyla, Symone.
No problem. Until next time, talk soon. Peace.